Hello and welcome to Crochet Moments. This is episode 34 and a certain little somebody wanted to come and say hello before she went to bed. So you're going to say what you're going to say to everybody?
Bye!
Good night, sweetheart. Yes, she's got a little bit camera happy. I think we've started Vlogmas, so by the time this goes up on Sunday afternoon, I film on the Friday and it goes up on the Sunday, so you will hopefully have seen Vlogmas 1 to 4. Hopefully I won't have bored you too much as well with my very mundane life, but it's been fun so far when I've remembered to film stuff. So this is Crochet Moments. This is my place where I like to talk about all things yarn. I knit, I crochet, and I collect yarn. Really, that's mostly what I do. I collect yarn. I think 2022 is going to be the year of the D-stash. I'm going to have to start concentrating on what I have and buy less beyond the subscriptions that I'm part of. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, and if you're new here and you're not already subscribed, just hit that subscribe button, and you can press the little bell, I think it's a bell, to be notified when a new episode goes on. Oh dear. It's not been too bad a week for me this week because I've been on annual leave. It's been mostly trying to catch up on housework. Although looking around me, I'm starting to wonder why I bothered, because the living room does not look tidy anymore. The joys of having children. I haven't got anything finished. I think last episode I've worn out all my finishes for a little while. I hope to have a couple of finishes before the end of the year, but we shall see. We shall see how they come up on my whip wheel. So I think I might as well just get straight into my whips. So with my whips, for those of you who don't know, I use a decision wheel. I do a week of knitting and a week of crochet, and I use my decision wheel to divide up that week according to projects. So I spin my knitting project wheel, and then I spin a days of the week wheel, so 1 to 7, and that tells me how many days I'm going to work on a project. So it's been, let's get my little diary, it's actually not been too bad. So I have done 3 days on my Portobello Roadshaw. I've spent 1 day on my Enigma. That's because I was off sick from work and was pretty much bedbound with a bad back. So I managed to get my Enigma done. I've also been working on my Faith Cow. I have got up to almost the end of part 4, I believe. And then this week, so far, has been my sweater, which I haven't actually shown on my channel yet. I had about 1.5 inches, 2 inches worth of the cable neckline. You'll see it soon. Done. So I haven't bothered showing it, but now you should see how much I've got done. And then there's my Advent projects as well have been started. So let's start with my crochet projects first, because that is my first love. So here's my Enigma. Starting to get really big now. Make sure it's the right way. Yep, so here it is. So this latest part was from here to here. So we've just got the 3 colours. And we're squaring it up, so I'm going to guess the next part will be squaring it up completely with these points. So here it is in all its glory. So this is the Enigma cowl. It is a pattern that is released monthly with the Crochet Now magazine that I subscribe to. It is designed by Esther, but it's all in a nutshell. And well, we're all big fans of Esther. If you do any of the Sheepies make-alongs, you are familiar with Esther's work because she does a lot of the tutorials. So this is, it was designed with Sheepies yarn in mind. I just went into my stash and picked up as many of the colours that I could. The only colour that I didn't have was the yellow, so I had to buy a couple of balls of yellow. But I'm really enjoying this cowl. There's a lot there to keep me interested. I don't sit well very often with row upon row, especially something blanket sized, row upon row of the same stitch. In fact, I'm actually getting to the stage of boredom with my sweater, and I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, so I can't remember which part this was. I think it's part 9 that I'm up to now. So these usually run for somewhere in the region of 11 to 12 months. So I'm not far off. I'm not far off. Well, actually, no, I think the last one went 13 months. I can't remember now. It's so long ago. So, yeah, so I shall pop that back in its project bag. I do love projects that like this, that have lots of different colours in, that I can use my stash on. I do have rather a lot of acrylic stash, which I am working my way down. I will continue working with acrylic for things like blankets because, well, if you see my Instagram very much, or even on my vlogs, my children love to use my blankets every morning. Since it started getting cold, I have come down to find Catherine wrapped in my Rosetta, Emily wrapped in my d'Histoire Naturelle it was called, wasn't it? And they're sat at the table eating their breakfast wrapped in those blankets. So blankets will always be acrylic for that reason. They need to be easily washed. But I'm wanting to branch out in my fibres and my yarn. So yes, I will still use acrylic for some things, to try new brands. I tend to stick to the same basic budget brands when I'm buying my acrylic. But I am wanting to start branching out and being a little bit more choosy on my yarn. I'm not a yarn snob. Hands up, I'm not a yarn snob, but I do want to be more selective, and going forward I want to try and buy for particular projects rather than just buying something because I love it. I don't know how successful I'm going to be at that because I love yarn, and certainly my last couple of visits to yarn shows have shown that I don't always buy with projects in mind. Anyway, my next crochet whip is in my really nice Amma ball bag. It does have knitting ladies on there, so I should probably put a knit project in there at some point, but it's just the perfect size for this project. It out. So I love that I'm getting to the stage in the cake now, although it's collapsed a little bit because of being in the bag. So this, I'm using a yarn mixology cake. This, she doesn't have a shop per se. She does put Facebook sales up every so often, where she will list all of the, she calls these bobbles, so she'll put a list of all the bobbles that she has. For the most part, they're 1,000-metre ones. She does occasionally do the smaller ones as a lucky dip for, excuse me, for a reduced price. I'm just going to get myself a drink because my throat is all scratchy. Right, I've wet my whistle now, so hopefully that scratch will go away and I won't keep coughing. That's been Simon's main complaint of my Vlogmas so far. He's been editing my vlogs and he's very picky and has been trying to edit out all the times that I clear my throat. And I didn't realise I did it that much. So, Portobello Road Shawl. I don't have a printout of this and my phone is on charge, so I can't show you a picture of what the finished article is, but I've got enough repeats on here to give you an idea. So it's basically just this section repeated, and it's really, really simple, but it's got this lovely laciness to it. So the last time I showed this I was down here, so I'll try and move that now. But before I put it away, so I've got all of this done and I'm just starting to see the green. I don't know if this will work. See if you can just spot the green. Yes, there it is. So the green's just starting to come through now, and this is very similar to the Sheepy's Whirls, where they change colour one strand at a time, so it's a very gradual colour change. So you can see we started with this quite deep colour and it slowly moves up, and now it will slowly start to move into the green, a strand at a time. And I love this so much. I've used a grey and white bobble for a shawl for my mother-in-law last summer, before I started my podcast. And I'm just really enjoying it so much. And I've got, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 repeats left. So very possibly, if I get another run, so I worked on that for 3 evenings, to get that much done in 3 evenings, so that's not bad, considering I was unwell and taking codeine. But yeah, so that's potentially a finished object next time, depending on if it gets spun through. So yes, there's that one. Oh, Portobello, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, so I haven't got around to putting all of my links on my last episode, because Simon just quickly bashed an edit together to put it on, because I just wasn't well enough to sit at the computer to edit it, and it wouldn't be fair for him to do. Well, it's not like I do much editing to these. I sort of take out some of the bits where I talk too much about rubbish. Other than that, so the crochet project that I am working on, sew the ends in on this bit, is the Crochet Society Advent Cowl. Now I haven't got the advent calendar because I got the advent calendar last year and I did not think it was value for money, and this year's is about a good £20 more than it cost last year. So no, I was not going to do that. And looking at the Facebook group, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because there have been lots of issues with damaged boxes, boxes with drawers that are stuck. So I'm really glad that I didn't go for that. But looking at the colours in the blanket, I do have quite a lot of those in my stash. So, and in all my oddments, so I thought I'm going to have a go at the cowl and try to match the colours where I can. If not, I will just pick something similar out of what I have. So this is days 1, 2 and 3. So day 1 was 7 snowflakes. day 2, which I did today because I did day 3 yesterday, bizarrely. So on the website, I'll try and link that as well. You do need to be a member of, have a member net login for the to access the pattern. It's a free login. You don't have to pay for the pattern, but you do need to log in to see it. But on the pictures for yesterday's, it showed the teal colour. And actually looking at the pictures of today's today's colour, it's actually more of a green than a teal, but I don't mind. Like I said, I'm just going to match as closely as I can. But it should have been this. This was yesterday's colour. This is actually quite a close match to the colour that I've seen in the photographs of the finished blanket. So they have done a spoiler picture so to see what the blanket looks like for those who wanted to see if they wanted to take part using stash yarn or buying their own yarn. I didn't see the point of buying 24 different colours, 100-gram balls, when you're going to not use more than 25-30 grams. But anyway, so these are the first 3 days of the Crochet Society cowl. Now we all know I like a cowl, knit or crochet, but I've done more crochet alongs than knit along. I'm only doing one knit along at the moment. Interested in doing more, so, and if you come across any, please let me know. So yeah, so that's those. I shall sit and sew those in a moment when I've finished filming my podcast. Oh, I've not shown you the cowl that I meant to talk about. The Faith cowl. Is this still attached to a ball of yarn? No, it's not. So I have been working on this quite a lot, and I'm really loving how it's looking so far. So this is the Faith cowl. It's a free crochet pattern by Helen Shrimpton of Crystals and Crochet. I am using the Naturals, the Starcraft Naturals kit. I bought the kit. I treated myself to this because Sheepies didn't have their annual cowl this year. They were worried about being able to get everything in stock, so they didn't want to have too many disappointed people unable to buy the kits. So they had they decided against it for this year, which disappointed me, and so I bought this. I really love this yarn. I am using this yarn again. It's not cheap. It's about, well, let's say that it's not expensive either, but it's about £4 for a 100-gram ball, which isn't too bad. But the set cost me, the kit cost £75, which is expensive. But yeah, so here's the green. It's really, really soft. It's possibly one of the softest cottons I've worked with so far. And yes, the intention is there. I will be making myself something out of that yarn again when the opportunity arises. So I'm really proud of myself. I'm keeping up to date with sewing in my ends because I'm not doing that to myself again. When I finished this cowl, I had fallen behind in sewing my ends in because I just wanted to get it finished, and I just left them, and it took me easily 2.5 hours to sew in all of the ends. No, When I finish a blanket, I want it to be finished and not have to spend another 2.5, 3 hours sewing ends in. So I'm just really planning. And it looks just as pretty on the back as it does on the front. And that's what I love about some of these patterns. And this has been really simple. There's not been anything too complicated. I haven't had to look up anything. Just going all the way around with the star stitch was tedious. I don't know what it is about star stitch. I love the look of it. So there's the star stitch. I don't know how familiar you are with the stitch. But it's worked over 2 rows. So you have to do the bottom of the star by working into multiple stitches and pulling it all in together, and then you work back, you turn your work and you work back, doing half trebles into each of the chain ones that closes that stitch off. I'm hopeful I don't get any more popcorn stitches. Again, those are ones that I really don't enjoy. We all have Achilles heels, don't we, for stitches that we don't enjoy. And I think for me, a shawl I did, I can't remember the name of the shawl, spoiled it for me. I was fairly new to crochet and I did a shawl that ended up on the last row that had popcorn stitches, must have had a good 100 or so popcorns. I didn't enjoy that. Not one teeny tiny bit. But I did it, but I didn't enjoy it. So ever since then, popcorns, I see popcorns in the instructions and I was like, no, please no, please. So I've got everything crossed. But yeah, so I'm about halfway on that now. It's very exciting. Pop that away. That is all of my crochet projects. And I've only got the one knit project to talk about because so far this has been my knit week, and so far the only knit project that I've had has been my sweater. So let's get the pattern first. Ooh, I'm going to cause an avalanche with my yarn bowl. So this is a pattern I bought a little while ago because I bought some Jewelspun yarn and I loved it. I absolutely love this yarn. I was always drawn to it whenever I saw it on the shelf at Hobbycraft. So here it is. So this is the colourway Midnight Fjords and it's just gorgeous. And they have some other really beautiful colourways, so I love that one. But here's some of the other colours they do, and I think I did actually see some other colours on my last visit, so I don't know if they've released more colours in this. But I was really drawn to this because it had this lovely cable neckline, which is very similar to my outpost sweater, which is actually drying on the radiator right next to me. I might wear that tomorrow, I'm not sure. So yes, I'm loving working with this yarn. It is 100% acrylic, and it's not the cheapest yarn. Obviously, it's a Sirdar brand, so this costs somewhere in the region of £10 for a 200-gram ball. Now, the yarn that I normally buy, the Aran that I buy from Aldi, is £5 for 400 grams, and there's wool in that. But it's still really, really nice. I do like this. And there's 500 meters in this one ball. It's let me just, so in the pattern it does sort of give you a bit of a gist of what they were aiming for with Jewelspun. So it says here, Jewelspun blends opulent colours to mimic the popular hand-spun look in a soft, light Aran weight that's as easy to care for as it is to wear. Choose from 6 flattering shades to bring a bit of simple Scandi-style coziness to your wardrobe. Yes. And I need that colour in my life. I love that colour. I need to find more patterns that are good for this, and there are some other patterns advertised in the back of the book, and there is a lovely hat and scarf pattern that I might get because I'm going to have a ball left. I bought this with a different sweater in mind, and I needed a certain amount of meterage, so I bought 3 balls. I haven't broken into a second ball yet. So let's show you the sweater as it is now. So there's the front. So as you can see, I'm almost halfway down the body already. I'm going to wait until I'm a bit further down before I try it on. I think I've worked out I'm going to need about 75 rows going by my tension. But I shall measure it every 10-15 rows to check. Although I am keeping a track of my rows, I'm putting a little stitch marker in every 10 rows of the body in the back as I get round. So I've got waste yarn holding my sleeve stitches. I prefer this method to putting them on a stitch holder because it makes it easier to try on. And there's the cable. So I did mess up on the cable a little bit. I got into a bit of a rhythm with it and thought I knew best, but it turns out there's supposed to be less of a regular, so they're supposed to go sort of long and medium lengths between the twists, but I think that's fine the way it is. I certainly, once I realised I only had about an inch worth of knitting left till I'd finished that neckline, I didn't want to undo it. I just wanted to get in and do it. So I am getting to the stage now, I'm getting bored because we are endless knit stitch. This is knit in the round, so obviously it's stockinette, but when you're knitting in the round it's knitting, isn't it? It's just knit stitch. So I've done short rows, haven't done too many of those, so that was good practice. Some wrap and turns. I've done this really nice raglan shaping on this for the sleeves, which has come out really, really neat. That's the neatest raglan I've ever done. Though I have never done a raglan on a going round, though. My raglans have been sewn raglans. I really can't wait to get this worn and finished so I can wear it. I love the colours. I think the colours really suit me. And so all I've got to do, I've got another 15-20 centimetres to go before I do the bottom rib and then the sleeves, which I haven't yet settled on the best way for knitting sleeves in the round. So if anybody that knits, that watches this, have any suggestions on the best way that I can knit my sleeves in the round. So on my outpost I used DPNs, which is fine, I was happy with that, but it did feel like it took longer than it should have done. So I'll be working on that tonight. And all of that, I've still got this much left of the first ball. The ambition is I'm going to finish this ball before bedtime tonight. I don't know if that's going to happen because there have been times this week where I've sat knit and knit and knit and knit, and it just doesn't seem to go down in size. It's been this size for ages. is today. It's just not getting smaller. It must do at some point, but it's been quite, it's like a TARDIS yarn. Never runs out. But yes, that's tonight's project. Oh, my advent shawl. I'll just grab that. So, those of you following my Vlogmas will be familiar with this box. This is the box I bought to put my advent in. And I got my advent this year from Yarn for the Soul. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This time last year with my advent calendar that I got from Crochet Society, I was already starting to think, really? Is this what I paid £50 for? This was a little more than £50, but I'm already feeling like I'm getting value for money. So first of all, let me show you my shawl, my project. So this is all up to date. This is including today's. So it's looking very small at the moment. This is the Painting Honeycombs shawl, designed by Stephan of West Knits. I'm already getting hair in my knitting. The grey yarn is Mist from Attic Spin Dye. Ooh, it's covered my face so it focuses. And this is, on its own, this is a gorgeous yarn. But it makes for an absolutely fantastic base to showcase these colours. And I would not be averse to getting another advent from Yarn for the Soul. Although it would be nice to shop around and try a few other dyes that may or may not be doing advents next year. So that is my project. So let's show you the yarns. This was day one. These are all up on my Instagram as well, so I'm keeping them in their numbered bags because when I get to 24 stripes, I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to keep going until I don't have enough yarn on one of these to finish a section, and then any bits that are left over will go into my coziest memories blanket, which Simon tells me I keep calling the cozy moments. So there's that one as well. So there's those, and I've had 2 little extras so far, as if the yarn wasn't enough. So I went for the luxury calendar. So I'm not quite sure how that differentiates, but I am getting lots of little knitting related extras. I don't know if there's going to be any edibles in here. I've been really good and I haven't been feeling the bags at all. So this is what I got in day one. I've got some Knit Pro wool needles. And today I got some Eucalan. Now I've never used this stuff before, so I'm quite looking forward to giving that a try when I block this. And I'm actually going to block it. The amount of things that I've knit and crocheted that could probably do with the blocking, and I just never get around to doing it. So I shall be working on that daily. Hopefully I'll be able to keep up with it, and once we get past Christmas it will go into my whip wheel and I will finish it as and when. So that's all my whips that I've been working on. Not lots at all. So, and I've only got a tiny bit of incoming. If you ignore the fact that I've got about 400 grams worth of yarn in my advent calendar. So I've had my Knit Now magazine arrive, and this one has a sock blocker as its free gift, which will come in handy. I already have one, but a second one will never go amiss. And a small socks made simple book, which has a little bit of knitting tips on knitting socks, and then a few patterns that are nice, supposed to be nice and simple to work on. So there's a boxy rib socks. Now I quite like these. I'm quite curious as to how these ones are worked up. The ryegrass socks, I definitely want to have a go with those. And the Love Spoon socks, these ones are really nice too. They've got, it's not terribly clear in the pattern really. You probably can't see it too well, but it's got a lovely cable pattern up the front. They are beautiful. And then carousel socks, which also look quite nice. So that little pattern book might go into my pattern book rotation for my sock patterns when I get round to working on them. Simon's socks haven't come up in my whip wheel for a little while now. He's starting to wonder if he's ever going to get his socks. He will. Maybe sometime summertime next year or the year after. But this is the magazine. So lots of nice things in here, although there's only 4 in here that I think are ones that I really want to make. So I love this hat and glove set. It's really, really nice. I just love this. And with it mirrored on here, this is definitely going to be a set for somebody. There's this one. Yes, that hat and glove set could be a Christmas gift for somebody next year. I'm going to try and focus on making things throughout the year that I can gift. And there's the knit along shawl. That's the last pattern. So in the next magazine or two, I should find out what the next knit along is going to be, and whether or not I'm going to have the willpower to join in, because I'm only, well, technically 2, but I'm 3 patterns in because I'm not working design 2 out of the knit along. but yes, and then there's this lovely jumper. There's just something I like about those sorts of textures. But yes, so that's all good. And they've got some Wallace and Gromit patterns in there, which I don't think Simon's noticed. I'm not making them for him. So I have been buying a couple of new needles for my knitting. So the needle that I'm using for my advent shawl is the Addy lace needles. Now it says with extra sharp tip. To me, it doesn't feel like a sharp tip. I have sharper tips on my zings, but my 3.7 is my 3.75 in use at the moment? I can't remember, but I wanted to try it. It's a different brand and it was cheap on Amazon Prime, so I got it. I won't be investing in the Addy lace needles. I don't see how that would work terribly well with lace. I did buy these Knit Pro Novas because I bought a set of DPNs in these, and these are nice and sharp. These are definitely sharper than the Addy lace ones. So I think going forward, when I need to buy needles specifically for lace, so I bought this for my falling leaves shawl that I bought the kit for at Wool at Junction 13 from Dinah's Home of Crafts. I just wanted to give these ones a go, but yes, so I've got those needles. And I also bought a bumper pack of these little stitch markers. I'm finding I'm using these kinds of stitch markers quite a lot. They're very handy for keeping track of your rows. I'm normally a little tally on a piece of paper person, but if I am just doing a certain, like on my jumper, I've worked out I need about 75 rows to finish the body. So putting one of these in every 10 rows helps me keep track of where I am without having to worry about losing a piece of paper and guessing. And my last bit of incoming is my Dinah's Home of Crafts. I've got to stop saying mini skein club. So this is Dinah's Home of Crafts. Now apparently she is going to be opening a shop very, very soon. I'm not sure what part of Birmingham it will be in, but it's in Birmingham. So I know that 1 or 2 of you are local to Birmingham. So I'd certainly be interested in maybe organising a meetup and going to have a look and maybe buy a few things and supporting her work. So this month's theme is Christmas. Here is the little stitch marker. I'm not sure if I will use this one though, because it jingles, and if I were working on a project that's moving around a lot, that would probably get on my nerves. And these are the colours. I'm loving this one. That one needs to be a skein all by itself. a full 100 grams on that one just by itself. That's beautiful. And I'm fairly certain I have one that's very similar to this already, but I don't mind. And I'm also fairly sure I've got a red like this too. But so yeah, so that's all my incoming. Like I said, I've not had a lot. I've been really good, although my order from Andy Tactics Spin Die hasn't arrived yet. That will be coming when the Christmas Eve box arrives, which shouldn't be too much longer, because he did say it would be sent out sometime in December, and we're in December. So I'm very excited. So yeah, so that's pretty much it, and I don't think I've been talking for too long today, which is surprising. Maybe I have all vlogged out because I've been trying to vlog every day. So thank you for sticking with me this long. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Feel free to email me. I'm always happy to see emails from my yarny friends, as I see all of my viewers. And yeah, so you can also follow me on Instagram if you don't already. I am crochet.moments, and I'm also on Ravelry. All of this information is down in my description box, and like I said, I will try and include a description box for this video. And I will try and remember to go back and sort out the description box for the last one as well. So I shall see you again soon. I hope you all stay safe and stay well, and enjoy the start of the seasonal times. Bye!